You have to do well to do any good at all. When your payment systems, your policies, your pricing, all of that, when that is tight and effective, you will have a healthy pricing structure and a payment system that accurately reflects, this is important, the value of what you do, the results that you deliver. It's easy for your clients to manage, and it will bring you the desired salary. You do have a salary you want, right?
Right.
You do have a salary.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So when you do this well, like the money will be there, and it comes in a way that works for your clients as well as you. Like there's no angst about it. We're all on board. We're all in agreement. The energy works because it comes from a place of integrity and alignment.
This episode is sponsored by TherapyNotes, TherapyNotes.com. Be sure and check them out, and be sure and use the promo code Gordon, Gordon, and you can try them out for 2 months for free. For the past 20 plus years, I've been working in the mental health field as a licensed therapist, private practice owner, coach, and consultant. And I've learned a lot the hard way, and I don't think you need to do the same. Hi there, I'm Gordon Brewer, and welcome to the Practice of Therapy podcast, part of the Psychcraft network of podcasts. Whether you're just starting out, expanding your practice, or looking for fresh inspiration, this podcast is here to support you in your journey. Each week, we explore the real-world challenges and opportunities that come with building and growing your private practice. From marketing and money management to ethics, client care, and self-care, we cover it all. You'll hear from leading experts, seasoned clinicians, and innovative voices in the mental health and allied health fields, all sharing their insights and strategies to help you thrive in your practice. So let's jump in and get to today's episode of the Practice of Therapy podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. This is episode number 406 of the Practice of Therapy podcast. I'm your host, Gordon Brewer, and so glad you've joined us for this particular episode. I'm really looking forward to you hearing from my guest in this particular episode, who is a fellow podcaster and also a fellow Tennessean, Wendy Pitts Reeves. And you might know Wendy from the Ideal Practice podcast, but also she does consulting as well. And so in this particular episode, we get into some of the things that she's developed and learned over the years of being in private practice as a private practice owner and both a solo practice owner and also a group practice owner, and some of the essentials that I think everybody needs to know about running a private practice or starting a private practice. So looking forward to you hearing from that conversation, rather. But before we get to that, one of the things I'd love for you to go check out is my good friend Julie Harris, who was on a couple of episodes back, has developed Profit First Workbook. Julie wrote the book Profit First for Therapists, and she has created this workbook that is just absolutely phenomenal. I've been just going through it myself here lately and just thinking about all the different ways you can implement and improve the financial side of your private practice through using the principles of Profit First. And so Julie has done a great job of breaking it down into smaller pieces, and with this workbook of really getting you to think in depth about your practice and how you want to run things. So I invite you to go over to practiceoftherapy.com and click on the link that practiceoftherapy.com/Profit First Workbook. Let me get that correct and find out more about that. That's a direct link to the Amazon page where you can purchase that, and it's out now. And I encourage you to do that because it's really cool what she's put together. And also, before we get to my conversation with Wendy, I'd love for you to hear more about the Psychcraft network, along with from our sponsor, TherapyNotes.
Hi there. I'm super excited to welcome you back to the brand new season of Scaling Therapy Practice podcast. This is the show where we encourage you to take deliberate steps towards sustainable growth. I'm your host, James Marland. In season 2, we're specifically focused on one main topic: marketing for mental health providers. Every week, we're going to share about different parts of marketing, giving you simple tips and tricks to grow your mental health business. Every episode from season 2 will have a download or a handout from the show. So sign up for our newsletter so you don't miss these valuable resources. Good news, I'm not going to be doing the show alone. I've got some awesome friends who are going to be joining me from the SciCraft Network. You're going to hear from Lisa Mustard, Steve Bisson, Dawn Gabriel, and other special guests. We've joined forces for this season to share helpful advice on things we've learned and even the mistakes we've made so that you don't have to make them. As the weeks go by, listen to us cover lots of topics on marketing, such as social media, how to market your own therapist, how to speak in public, and even how to start your own podcast or even just guest on podcast shows. We really want to hear from our listeners, so send us your questions, your comments, your thoughts to james@coursecreationstudio.com. That's james@coursecreationstudio.com. Make sure you check out season 1, which is out now, and it has lots of tips on scaling your therapy practice. Just go to coursecreationstudio.com and click the podcast section. So join us every Monday. We're going to learn a lot about intentional and sustainable growth for your therapy practice.
Hi, this is Rachel, Gordon's podcast assistant, and I want to share the platform Gordon trusts for his own practice, TherapyNotes. TherapyNotes is the highest rated EHR, practice management, and billing software for mental health professionals. It's an all-in-one system for scheduling, notes, billing, and secure client communication. And if you ever need help, their 24/7 customer service is always just a call or email away. Their latest update, Therapy Fuel, uses AI to streamline documentation, generating progress notes, creating contact notes from client messages, and even summarizing client history forms, saving therapists hours every week. Are you ready to give it a try? Head to therapynotes.com, click Start My Free Trial, and use the code GORDON to get your first 2 months free. See why TherapyNotes is the most trusted EHR and the one Gordon chooses for his practice. Please enjoy the rest of the show.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome again to the podcast. And I'm really pleased and happy to have Wendy Pitts Reeves on the show today with me. And Wendy is no stranger to podcasting, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about her podcast. But I was on episode 160 of her podcast. So, Wendy, as I start with everyone, tell folks a little more about yourself and how you've landed where you've landed.
Thank you, Gordon. What a treat it is to be here with you. I really like us meeting like this frequently. This is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I've been in private practice for, 100 years or so, it seems like at this point. And I have a podcast called Ideal Practice, which you were kind enough to join me for a few weeks ago. I've been running that podcast now for 3.5 years or so with weekly episodes, just like you, trying to do my best to encourage and inspire folks out there who are either starting a private practice or have been in it for a while and have either kind of lost a little bit of the excitement or like they're doing fine, but they know they could do better. I want to do whatever I can to kind of help them raise the bar a little bit and have more fun with what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I know one of the things that you and I have in common, we're both in Tennessee and not too far from each other, but
Go Vols.
Go Vols. Yeah. As we're recording this, they play Kentucky tomorrow. So I'm going to be having some friends over for that. So but, I digress. But Wendy, I know one of the things that you and I both are passionate about, and that is just helping people get started in private practice and really as I like to say about myself, I've learned a lot of stuff the hard way, and I don't like other people to do the same. But you've developed the seven pillars and just really kind of the basics, most essential things about starting a practice that you wish everybody knew. And there's all that stuff that you help them with. So let's jump into that and just go for it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I've been coaching. I started, grew, and ran a group practice in Maryville, Tennessee, which we pronounce Maryville, just outside of Knoxville near the Smokies, and ran that practice for 25 or so years. And unofficially, I had been coaching all along, teaching people how to get their practice started when they joined my group. And when I began coaching officially, and I was thinking, like, what is it exactly that has made this work? Because our practice was the go-to practice in our town for all of that period of time. And what I eventually kind of settled on was that there's no one thing that's going to make your practice work. You really need to manage several bits of it well. And what it all kind of settles into for me, when I really, really thought about what had brought my success and those of so many people I've worked with, is that there are 7 key areas that I feel like you need to nail, not all at once, and over in different ways through the course of your practice, but you're going to be bumping into these one way or another. And so I thought what I would do today is just give you an introduction to that concept.
Right.
So does that sound good? Yeah?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So those 7 pillars, I'll say them first, and then I'm going to tell you essentially what each of them means, because it's not always as obvious as you think. They are, number 1 is purpose. Number 2 are the people. Number 3 is the product that you serve. Number 4, process. Number 5, payment. That's a fun one. Number 6, promotion. And number 7, perspective. And let me tell you what I mean by each one of those. And Gordon, you just interrupt me if you want to ask a question or share some thoughts about one of these. So I start with purpose for a reason. This is because when you tap into your why you started a business at all, that's going to help pull you through the tough times, which you are going to have. And when this is nailed down and you are super crystal clear about what your purpose is, you will be able to say that you know why you do what you do, and you have a potent and powerful vision for the business that you are building. When you don't have that, you will find yourself a little detached or confused or sort of scrambled, sort of all over the place, as opposed to feeling energized and excited. And I don't just mean about the people you're serving. I also mean about why do you want to be a business owner at all? Because that's important. This is not for the faint of heart. That's the first one. We start with our why. Number 2, people. And that is, I want you to serve the people that you love. Okay? Period. Just serve the ones you love. When you've got this nailed down, you will know your ideal client in and out. You will know them better than they know themselves. You'll know what drives them. You'll know what worries them, and you will know how to serve them. And this is important because often we know what our clients need more than they do, but how to sort of cross that gap from what they think they need to what we know they need, that takes skill, right?
Right.
And
right.
And when you are working with your client that you absolutely, like you wake up in the morning and you look at your calendar for the day and you're like, oh, yay, I get to see them today. It's the best feeling in the world. And when you've got this figured out, you are going to go you'll move away from being sort of anxious, like, oh no, can I work with this person? Do I know what I'm doing here? To excited about the person in the waiting room that you're going out to say hi to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
The third pillar that no one talks about, which I'm using the word product. Now, in our world, we tend to think our product is us, right? The service that we provide. But essentially what I want you to do is I want you to do you. And that means think of creative ways that you can serve your people at deeper, richer, wider levels. And there's so many ways to do this. When you've got this figured out, or you are sort of tweaking it over time, you will have an irresistible offer that provides your clients with the resources they need to get the results they most want through a service that it just works. It just works.
Yes, right.
Yeah?
It's really about communicating the transformation that people can go through.
Yes. And there's lots of ways to deliver that other than sitting in a room for an hour a week and talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got all kinds of examples of that, I know.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. So,
The fourth pillar, and we can go back through any of these, but I use the word process, and that is basically your systems. How do you run what you run? How do you do what you do? I'm always saying there's a system for that because I sort of think that way. I have a very strong one wing on the Enneagram. When you run a business, guys, like you will find yourself sort of creating things over and over and over. And in the beginning, you sort of scramble to figure out how to do what you're doing. But as your practice matures, what I want to see over time is I want you to develop habits, systems, and boundaries that make life easier for your team, if you have a team, for yourself as a business owner, and for your clients. And when you do that and as that improves and matures over time, you will find that your practice is more profitable because you're not wasting as much time and energy and resources reinventing the wheel, and it's more enjoyable. You won't be exhausted all the time. You'll be more organized. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's an important piece, I think, for, like you said, in the very beginning, to really be clear on, okay, what's the client's journey through your practice?
Yes.
And also,
yes,
how you're collecting the money, which I know you're going to get to that, but just all of those things.
Your client's journey is so important. That is a great way to sort of organize your systems. Like how do they find out about you in the beginning? Once they reach out for an inquiry, how do you process that? Mm-hmm. Once you get them in the door, how do you onboard them as a client? During the work itself, how do you stay in touch with them? How do you maintain it? And when it comes time to wrap up, how do you do that? And if you do this over and over and over with hundreds of clients, thousands over the years, the more systematic you can make that, the easier everything is for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to harp on that a little.
Yeah, sure. I do too. Yeah. So
is there anything you want to say about any of the rest of those before I go on? Keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
I don't want to go too fast. The fifth pillar, and y'all, I have arranged all of these in this order on purpose because I kind of think you need to get one of these fixed before you do the next, and one of these before, like they build on each other.
Right.
So the fifth, which is a lot of this is where we tend to start, but I really think you need to get the other stuff figured out first. But that is payment or profit, if you like that word.
Right.
And essentially, like you have to do well to do any good at all. So when your payment systems, and I mean all the things around that, your policies, your pricing, all of that, when that is tight and effective, you will have a healthy pricing structure and a payment system that accurately reflects, this is important, the value of what you do, the results that you deliver. It's easy for your clients to manage, and it will bring you the desired salary. You do have a salary you want, right?
Right.
You do have a salary.
Yes.
So when you do this well, like the money will be there, and it comes in a way that works for your clients as well as you. Like there's no angst about it. We're all on board. We're all in agreement. The energy works because it comes from a place of integrity and alignment, and it builds on the other things I've already said: your purpose, who you serve, how you do it. Yeah.
Right. And we could, and I know we talked about this before we started recording, but we could go down a whole rabbit trail about money mindset and some of the things that I know therapists in particular struggle with, but that's for another time. So yeah,
it is. I really could talk about that all day. I harp on that a lot on Ideal Practice. And I do have a little offer for your listeners today, Gordon, that can help them with that if they're interested. Because you're right. The mindset is everything. And when I have taught about this in my own masterminds and courses, I will teach people the strategies behind it, but it's funny. That in the end isn't really what matters. It is the mindset and the way you think about all of this that is more important than anything. So
right.
The sixth pillar of these 7 is promotion, because your people need you. And if they don't know you exist and they don't know how to find you, they're not going to be able to get the help that they need. So you have to find a way to get yourself out there. When you do this well, you will have a clear and compelling brand message, which I know is not something we talk about all the time. You will have identified specific marketing strategies that work for you, not 15 of them, 1 or 2 that really kind of work with who you are. They will be online and in real life. Okay. And they will be strategies that work with your particular strengths. And you are doing them. You are like implementing them. You're not sitting behind your desk waiting for the phone to ring or for someone to knock on your door.
Right.
So promotion, like it or not. And if you don't learn how to find your way into this and get comfortable with this, the people you can really help are never going to find you. And that's sad for everybody. So
Right. It's, I'm always reminded of the movie Field of Dreams, build it and they will come, but you have to build it and then tell them about it. Then they will come.
And
so
you know this.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 therapists in Knoxville, right? Like, how do you, if someone's looking for you, how do they know you sound just like everybody else? How do I know who to call? Right. So it really is important.
And I will say, for folks that might not be familiar with this, really one of my go-to strategies around all of this or a framework really is the Story Brand framework by Donald Miller.
Yeah.
And you can look it up, and it's the Story Brand. He's got a book, Story Brand Marketing. And it's a good way to think about it. And I think I think for us that don't like the hard sell kind of stuff.
Yes.
Really thinking about his framework really helps with that.
And he's another Tennessee guy. I think he lives in Nashville now.
Yes.
Everybody's moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
That's such a great point, Gordon. I actually had someone on my show recently that our whole conversation was about how to use story. And we actually did not reference him, but you're right. That is a really good resource.
Right.
And even your personal story done well and done appropriately can really help connect with your ideal clients.
Right. Yeah.
So that's huge and important. And then the last pillar that it wraps all of it, the cherry on top, is your perspective. And by that, I mean your mindset. Because you can do all the right strategies and all the right tactics in the world, but if your mindset is wonky, you will self-sabotage every time. Mm-hmm. So when you are owning this and you are stepping into this fully with your own power, you will have this healthy abundance mindset, a success-oriented perspective, and you will move through your business being at cause. I used to have a coach who talked about being at cause. That means that you are claiming that your power to be the creator of your own life and your business, which means if it's going great, it's because you're doing something great. And if it's not going great, it's because you've got an opportunity to fix something. Right. But you are at cause. Matt, that's all of it comes down to that. So
sure.
There you go.
Sure. Yeah. Those are great. I really love the way that you've kind of put that into almost like steps, but really just kind of a good framework to think about the different elements of running a private practice.
Yep.
One thing I would say, Wendy, and I'm sure you address this under kind of the money pillar or whatever, payment pillar, but in addition to paying yourself is creating a safety net for yourself in terms of having money in reserve for those times when, your client load might go down or things might happen. I was talking with someone earlier today, for those of us that are have insurance-based practices, and that's a whole other decision people need to make, is whether they want to accept insurance or not.
Yeah.
There's no right answer to that, and it depends on a lot of different things. But back when the Change Healthcare thing happened with the clearinghouses, those of us that are insurance-based really took a big hit and really struggled during those periods. And the way my practice made it through was the fact that I had money in reserve.
You are really good at that.
Yeah. And so I think that's something to just have in mind and really think. Also, just, all of these things don't have to be done all at once.
Absolutely.
And so just thinking about doing it in small bites and just one builds on the other. And as you grow, things are going to change, and you're going to, the processes will change and all of those things.
Absolutely. When we learn as we go, right? And we mostly learn when things go wrong. We figure stuff out, right?
Right.
You and I both have been at this for a while. And when you came on my program and you were telling your backstory, I was really impressed with the way you did that in terms of setting money aside to have that safety net. You did better than I'm used to hearing, actually. I wish I had known that when I started my practice. What I see as a coach all the time is people will tell me, oh, I've got great pricing and I'm fine with money. I'm good with it. And then when I start really digging in, so tell me, how many clients do you have at what rate and how many, even if you've got an insurance-based practice, whatever. And what I find is that their pricing is all over the map, and that the energy that they approach it is so uncomfortable So to me, money is a therapeutic issue every bit as much as anything else we talk about in the therapy world, right? And because we are either underpricing and feeling guilty, or we're fine, our pricing is good, but we are apologetic when we talk about it, like, oh, I'm so sorry, but my rates are this, which is completely undermining and undervaluing the importance of the work that client is doing. Or we avoid the hard conversations, like they owe you and they haven't paid, which is making my discomfort their discomfort, because I guarantee you they're thinking about it. So learning how to bring that into the room, just like you do anything else in that relationship, I feel like that's one of the hardest things for people to learn, and one of the most important.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
A PSA from Instacart. It's Sunday, 5 p.m. You had a non-stop weekend. You're running on empty, and so is your fridge. You're in the trenches of the Sunday scaries. You don't have it in you to go to the store, but this is your reminder. You don't have to. You can get everything you need delivered through Instacart so that you can get what you really need, more time to do whatever you want. Instacart, for one less Sunday scary. We're here.
And the truth is that the majority of our clients want to pay us. And kind of to your point, Wendy, I think it's important to recognize your value and the fact that you're offering something that in many cases is unique, but also people are struggling and they're willing to pay for that, to get the help that they need. And it's an expectation. I don't go to my doctor without expecting to pay them in some form or fashion, either by insurance or whatever, and also pay them on the front end. They want to know where their money's coming from before even walk in the office. So I mean, so people are used to that, and I don't think we need to put a lot of judgment on that. Absolutely not. I actually think it's something to celebrate. Because when a client chooses to come to you and to invest in themselves and the results of their work with you, they're not only saying they trust you or they're willing to put their trust in you, but they're also honoring themselves and the need that they have. They don't always see it that way, but I look at like, yay for you. Look at what you're doing for yourself. That's fantastic. So let's just claim that and not shrink from it, because it really is. It's kind of amazing and worth celebrating. So we've kind of talked around this a little bit, but which pillar do you think most people struggle with? Would you say it's the money? Yeah, it's very much so, because I see people who are great at coming up with ideas about how to serve their clients, and all of it is, I've seen people get fuzzy about all of it, like in terms of process. That's like boundaries around your time, how you manage phone calls, how you manage the administrative side of your business. I've coached people who were seeing clients at 8:00 in the morning and 9:00 at night and on Sunday afternoons and like all over the place. I've worked with people who were charging one client $50, somebody else $85, somebody else $150, somebody else $200. It's crazy and scattered. So that's sort of a systemic issue, but it always comes back to our belief system about ourselves and the value of the work we do. And just trusting, like, if I don't believe in myself, if I don't think I'm worth paying this, then why should you? So there's so many ways we trip ourselves up around this. So many ways. Yeah. And I think a lot of it too is we are afraid people won't like us if we ask for money. Yeah. It undervalues the work. I don't care if you have an insurance-based practice or self-pay or a blend. Like, to me, the whole point of an ideal practice is that your practice it's ideal for you, whatever that looks like. But even if you've got insurance, so I don't do that. I have a self-pay practice now, but I ran a full, crazy, over-the-top insurance-based practice for 20 plus years. And I was terrible at it because there were so many games to play around the insurance. But even if you're going to do that, do it well. Collect your copays up front, stay on top of it, or hire somebody like Jeremy that you and I both know. Like, find somebody to do the work for you and make, even if you delegate that work to somebody,
It's still your duty as the owner of this company. You are the CEO of your own show. You have to know what your numbers are, and you have to know what your clients owe you. I had a therapist colleague of mine once that was working. Her practice was brand new, and she was trying to learn all this stuff and figuring it out. And she told me once, I don't really want to know what people owe me because I'm afraid I will resent them and it will impact my work with them. So she was kind of doing the whole, I don't see it. I don't know this. I don't hear.
Right.
Now she's gotten better. She didn't do that anymore. But for those first couple of years, and I'm like, do you not think they're thinking about it?
Right.
They are. So treat them with respect and say, let's talk about money.
Yeah.
Let's have that conversation.
And I think too, when you move into group practice, is having conversations with your clinicians about that issue as well, because a lot of that, depending on how you've got your processes set up. I know in my practice, a lot of times our intake coordinator is not there in the building, and she usually collects, when people come in. But if they're not there, then the therapist needs to collect. And so coaching them through that process about how to do it in a way that that they're comfortable with. And I tell people all the time that when you're asking for money, a simple way to do this is just simply say to the client, your bill is this amount. How would you like to take care of this?
How would you like to take care of this?
And then just be quiet.
Yep.
And don't say anything else. And they will usually offer something, and then you can kind of work your way through that at that point.
Yes. Yes. That's great, Gordon. I also have suggested that to people, like that question. How would you like to take care of your copay today?
Yeah.
How would you like to take care of your payment today? Because there's an assumed answer in there that you are going to take care of it.
Right.
There's an assumed yes.
Exactly.
And do it at the beginning of the session, not at the end. Because by the end, you're into all the emotional stuff, and you've already got other things to deal with at that point. So get it out. And I used to say, let's get the red tape out of the way first. How would you like to pay today? I would do that as soon as they walked in and sat down.
Yeah.
You also you said, sometimes your intake coordinator collects payment, but sometimes your clinicians do. Do you find that that's hard for them to actually handle money, whether it's digital or whether it's somebody handing them a check? Do they struggle with that at all?
Well, again, one of the things too, you're going back to the systems and processes that you have in place.
Yeah.
Is the majority of our clients, we have a credit card on file. So, I mean, that makes it easy for the clinician, and all you have to say is, I'll add your copay to the card you have on file.
Yep. And somewhere along the way, that card won't work anymore.
Yeah.
Or something goes wrong, and you have to have
that conversation as well.
Right.
But it's,
I'll tell you a funny. Let me tell you a funny story about this. The reason I asked that question is because when I started my practice back in the day, I had come from a residential treatment center where I was the director of family therapy, and somebody else dealt with that business stuff, and I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted to help those kids, right?
Right.
So I took that attitude with me into private practice, and it was just me in the beginning. And when people would say to me, like, how do I pay you today? They would ask me, how do I pay you? And I'd be like, just drop it in that box at the end of the hall. Like I had a little wooden box nailed to the wall with a slit in the top. And I would say, on your way out, just drop and they was, well, what do I owe you? I don't really know. I haven't got that figured out yet. Just whatever you think is best. I literally did not want to touch a check or cash. And you know what I did at the end of the day? I ran into that box and opened the lid to see how much money I had there.
All right.
Terrible, terrible way to start a business. But I mean, that was a very long time ago. I'm not that person today, but it hurts my heart and also cracks me up to think about that, which is why I'm so tuned into this with people today. Because there's lots of ways we do that same thing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, Wendy, I guess we need to be respectful of each other's time. And I know we could spend all day talking about all these things, and I'm really grateful to you for the work that you're doing. So tell folks how they can get in touch with you. And you said you had a freebie for people that if they're interested in it.
If it's okay, it's not a freebie. It's actually a little paid course, but it's it's little.
Good.
So sort of modeling what I teach here. So because mindset is such a big deal, I actually have it's a sweet little mindset course. It's called Mind Over Money. And what it is every day you get a little bit of inspiration, a little lesson in your inbox. It takes 5 minutes to either read it, or I've got it on audio if you want to hear it. It's great to do while you're walking the dog in the morning. 5 minutes worth of just a shift in perspective about how to think about abundance. And it's like a daily drop of that.
Okay.
Normally it's $97, but for your listeners in particular, if they go to that, when they register and use the promo code Gordon, they will get $50 off of that. So it's just $47.
Okay.
The way you get that is go to my website, wendypittsreeves.com/mind, because it's mind over money, /mind, and use the promo code Gordon to get it basically half price, $47.
Awesome.
And people like it. I have people tell me they hate it when it ends because it becomes kind of like a daily meditation almost in a way.
Right. Yeah, that sounds great. And we'll have links in the show notes and the show summary for people to access it.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So check it out, folks. And Wendy, I'm sure we will be having more conversations in the future and sharing with all the listeners.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gordon. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Well, a big thanks to Wendy for being on the podcast, and go over and check out her podcast. I actually was a guest on her podcast not too long ago, and that is your Ideal Practice podcast. And also check out her little course on mindset, which I think you'll find really helpful. And you'll find links here in the show notes and the show summary to get to that easily. But again, big thanks to Wendy for being on the podcast and for her wisdom and just her years of service in our profession. And I hope that you can learn a lot from her. And also, before you go, I'd love for you to check out TherapyNotes. They are the leading electronic health record system for mental health providers. They're who I use in my practice, and I couldn't survive without them at this point. And they continue to add features, and just makes running the back end of particularly the clinical side of your practice so much easier. And if you'll go over to practiceoftherapy.com/therapynotes, you can find out more about them. They have got so many features now, including the ability to create your notes with the assistance of AI. So it has just cut down the time it takes to write clinical notes just immensely. So be sure and check that out. And again, if you'll go to practiceoftherapy.com/therapynotes and use the promo code Gordon, just GORDON, and you can try them out for 2 months for free. So take care, folks. Looking forward to being with you in future episodes. We've got a lot of great guests lined up, so be sure and come back for more. And do take time to follow us or subscribe to the podcast wherever you might be listening to it. Take care. You have been listening to the Practice of Therapy podcast with Gordon Brewer, part of the Psychcraft network of podcasts. Please visit us at practiceoftherapy.com for more information, resources, and tools to help you in starting, building, and growing your private practice. And if you haven't done so already, please sign up to receive the free Private Practice Startup Guide at practiceoftherapy.com. And to find more great podcasts like this one, please visit the Psychcraft Network at psychcraftnetwork.com. The information in this podcast is intended to be accurate and authoritative concerning the subject matter covered. It is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, or producers are rendering legal, accounting, or clinical advice. And if you need help in these areas, be sure to find the right professional to help you with these things.
With the state of today's economy, it is more important than ever to invest in products that last for years to come. As the seasons shift and get cooler, make sure your closet is stocked with durable layers that stand the test of time from American Giant. American Giant's clothes work harder and are wearable season after season. Their greatest hoodie ever made is made of the highest quality materials that are cut and sewn right here in the United States. So you're investing right back into your local community. Choosing American Giant means taking a stand for American manufacturing and hardworking Americans, something other mega corporations don't care about. From fleece to knit, all in a range of colors for versatile daily wear, American Giant delivers everyday pieces designed for everyday life. Feel the difference of quality made-to-last clothes from American Giant. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at american-giant.com with code STAPLE20.